Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be? Your friendly Star Marshal today, because today we are carrying on with our annual Star Wars adventure in celebration of in and around May the 4th. This year, we have been kicking off a campaign, or at least an adventure, playing Pinnacle Entertainment's outstanding Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. And we have been making use of a custom set of house rules for Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, written by Christopher Levy, which is called the Star Wars Companion. I have a link down below in the description of this video to the version we are using, and a link to the version that Christopher posted last week, the updated version in celebration of May the 4th. And with me today are the crew of the Night Below, our stars for the stars of our campaign in a galaxy far, far away. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? First up, we've got John.
Hey everyone, I am John, and I'm playing Droman. He is an Alina, Force-sensitive Jedi. He got a purple lightsaber, and typical fashion, I am a utility character.
Yeah, nice. Next up is Andrew.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew, and I am playing Taniv, a Rhodian bounty hunter. Yeah.
Nice. Next up is Will.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Chael. He is a Mary Ellen Jedi Consular.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is hold on, what? Jeez, what was that? What was that name again? Oh yeah, it was George. George Straden, author of the Tales of the Jedi Companion. That's so strange.
I do like stars a little bit. That's funny. Yes, hi everybody.
George, I've been sitting on that joke. George has been striking as George is a writer and as part of the WGA, and has been striking for the last 2 weeks. I have been sitting on this joke for 2 fucking weeks, George. And you know how much of a fan of prop comedy I am. So.
I definitely know. You would have appreciated that. We on May the 4th at the picket line we had Star Wars Day.
Oh,
so
nice.
we were wearing we all wore merchandise from one of the companies that were picketing against, which was the kind of fun irony we like as writers. But hey everybody, I'm George. I'm playing Nox, who is kind of a heroic but maybe overconfident Jedi, kind of a I don't know what we've said exactly he is, but he's kind of a frontline. If I need to, I'm going to cut you down.
Yeah, he's a sentinel, I believe, is
yeah,
but with a
sentinel.
Specialty in shadow, I think.
Yes.
Or maybe Droman was more the shadow. And you were...
Yeah, I think I'm just a straightforward.
Yes, Droman is a knight that dips in the shadows.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So, guys, let me see if I can bring you over to give you some, let's see here, some context. So, let's give a quick overview here, Will, because it was, I think, you and Jeffrey running solo, or not solo, but in a pair on this the last couple of sessions.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Okay, let me just move this out of the way, and rock slider, get you down there. What happened last time, Will? Last couple of times.
Yeah, the last couple of times. So, so we were traveling in this repulsor lift vehicle along the coastline, and we had received a, I guess like a homing beacon to locate the. Hold on, it will come to me. I want to say conciliers, and that's not right.
Starts the CH?
Chamberlain. The Chamberlain. Thank you.
Got it.
Yes. So we had this device to follow him, but while we were out there, Kalador and I all of a sudden received a distress call from a pair of I guess, repulsor skiffs, for lack of a better way to describe them, that were getting pulled into one of the storms. So on this planet, of course, it's a resort planet, so they have weather control satellites, and those satellites have to control the weather. So if you make it nice in one place, you kind of got to make it crappy in another place. And so that's what had happened. These two repulsor skiffs had gotten caught in this weather vortex. And so Kalador and I traveled out to rescue them. And it was, I think it was two families on the two skiffs, basically. One family on one on the other. And so Kalador and I rescued them and got them back to the ship. And while we were in the midst of that, the transponder, the locator beacon for the Chamberlain went off. So instead of taking them back and dropping them off, we decided to continue to follow the beacon. Now, this is where I get a little shady. So I know we got over there, and I remember there was the location that we arrived at, and I cannot remember what happened to the families once we arrived there.
So, do you recall having a conversation with them?
I mean, I know Kalador put the one guy in his place. Beyond that, I'm not ringing any other bells.
So I think that what Cal had done is convinced them to just stay on the ship.
Yeah.
Because one guy was asking a little too many questions, and apparently was a big mucky muck in an Imperial factory on Sullust.
Yep, on Sullust. Yep, I remember.
Yeah, and this he was trying to call in
Imperials.
His weight. Yeah, that trying to give suggest that he's a big mucky muck and wouldn't want to get us in trouble or you guys in trouble. And I believe it was, I can't remember if it was you or if it was Cal who really effectively kind of put him in his place. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Cal.
Yeah. And then this was this was the island that the transponder brought you guys to, a place that seemed equal parts bunker and equal parts resort. And what do you remember about that place?
I don't remember a tremendous amount about the place per se. I do remember finally getting in touch with Chamberlain.
Yes.
I want to say, that's what I was fixing to say. I want to say that it was basically kind of like a bunch of droids, basically.
What do you mean?
So that picture that he put up there, was there like 6 of them?
He saw the entire island seemed to be made up of individuals of the same height who all looked exactly like that, wearing the same things.
Right.
Maybe clones.
You know, I don't even remember if I checked to see if they were human or not.
You did, and you found that you were confident they were not droids. They moved too convincingly. And
so,
they were met by one at the doorway or at the hangar, and then the door opened up and 2 more seemingly identical individuals were waiting in there. They were escorted into a big garden. What do you remember about that?
I remember that's where we kind of got the info dump, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And God, I took a lot of notes, but they don't make any sense, which is wonderful.
So let's talk about this first. When you finally met with the Chamberlain, what was that audience like?
Ew. I mean, he wasn't antagonistic.
Was there anything that stood out with your conversation? Because you're saying him, but do you remember that there were 3 of them?
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was trying to remember. It seemed like we came into this area and my mind said I wanted to say there were 6 of them, but maybe it was just 3 of them.
It was just 3 of them, and then as you were speaking, they each seemed to be answering in part.
Yeah, there is a
That's cool.
the Chamberlain was telling us about these Black Knights of the Sith from around 1800 years ago.
Mhm.
And there was a Jedi Master that was skilled in the dark side. And he was one of the first fallen Jedi to open himself to the ancient Sith spirits.
So let me go through again, because you're kind of getting a bunch of things right, but some stuff is getting a little mixed together.
Help me out.
Here's the highlights of what was told. You're absolutely right. 1800 years ago, during an era known as the New Sith Wars, there were...
Mommy.
Okay, fine.
An era known as the New Sith Wars. Is an era where the Sith fought the Jedi almost on equal footing, where the Sith had control over almost as much of the Empire as what the Republic did. And by the time of the end of that Empire, after a cataclysmic war on a planet called Rusan, the Sith were seemingly eliminated. But during that period, that 1,000 years of the New Sith Wars, there were a number of different Sith warlords that arose, one of which was someone called the Dark Underlord. And this Dark Underlord was the master of the Black Knights of the Sith. The Black Knights, it's not clear where they came from, but they were eventually defeated by the Jedi, but only after one Jedi Master, a Togorian named Master Murtagh, had thrown, drawn on the Mandalorians to invade wherever the Black Knights were, and he assassinated the Dark Underlord. The rumor you heard, Will, or you may remember, is that it's unclear who the Underlord was, but in order to defeat or assassinate the Underlord, Murtagh fell to the dark side. And it's unclear if he went there to defeat him, or if he was, as was rumored, possessed by this dark side wraith that was possessing the Dark Underlord, a wraith that was rumored to be the original Jedi who fell all those thousands of years before. The Black Knights of the Sith were not heard from again until about 900 years later.
Right.
What do you remember, or what do you remember about that?
Let's see. Master Yoda faced them as a Padawan.
His first adventure as a Padawan.
And that was in the Mortex sector.
That's correct.
On the planet Flohaka.
That's right.
Which is a cloud-choked planet with mile-high pillars and was a haven for pirates.
Yes.
He knew who the Black Knight of the Sith was?
No, they don't know. No. And it was unclear from the records that the Chamberlain had as to how the Black Knights seemed to rise again 900 years later and on a totally different planet.
Right.
Nevertheless,
but now the Chamberlain, he knew where there was an active Jedi Praxium was?
Well, that was what he was going to trade for you.
Okay.
Yes, what the Chamberlain told you was that he implied that he knew the location of a Jedi Praxium.
Okay.
And what he has said is, the Black Knights of the Sith, tell me if this sounds familiar to anyone. A fully armored head-to-toe dark side warrior wearing black armor and wielding a often crimson lightsaber. What the Chamberlain, you may remember when you were identifying what the thing that the Chamberlain might most want to know is the identity of this strange warrior in service to the Emperor, to Palpatine, and that's Darth Vader.
Vader.
What this guy thinks 1800 years ago, Black Knights of the Sith arose. 900 years later, on a totally different planet, Black Knights of the Sith return. And now, 900 years later, we have a fundamental shift in the power in the galaxy. And once again, a dark armored warrior has arisen. Do you remember what artifact the Chamberlain had?
Yes, he had a Jedi holocron.
It is correct. Well, I think technically he had a holocron.
Okay, yep. But I think you said it was a dodecahedron, did you not?
That's right. Which is
Yep.
more
On the screen.
Yeah, more commonly something associated with the Gray Jedi.
Right. Because there's basically 3 kinds of holocrons. And the Gray Jedi have both light and dark side knowledge.
And to access them, you knew this as well. A Gray Jedi holocron like that, depending on whether you draw on the light or the dark side, will access different information.
Right. Different gatekeepers of the information. Yes.
Correct.
I did have that written down.
So that's the information that was offered, is that, for one, they mentioned and showed holo pictures of a functioning Jedi Praxium. For those who weren't here last time, a Praxium is a Jedi temple. Imagine a small Star Destroyer that drifted around the galaxy but was full of Padawans and teachers and whatnot, exploring and learning. 4 of those Jedi in the group, you would know there were 4 Praxium starships, of which at least 1 is destroyed, and the other 3 are missing. This guy says he knows where one of those Praxium starships are.
And if I remember properly, he wanted us to take this holocron to Flohaka and find out where the Underlord is located.
Where is that?
And find out the secrets of the Black Knights in exchange for the location of the Jedi Praxium. Does that sound correct?
That is correct.
I took notes,
Yeah, no, and like I said, it was a big info dump last time, so that's a lot. So, the rest of our heroes were not there last time, but we can assume that there would have been, if you had any questions that you wanted to ask of the Chamberlain, we can address that now.
Did he reveal how he came into possession of the holocron?
He did not, but he did mention whose holocron it was.
Aha.
Master Murtaugh's.
Oh. Okay, well that's, very interesting. And we haven't tried to tap into it in any way?
Have not.
Okay.
Togorians, incidentally, are one of the cat people species in Star Wars.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I don't think if we mentioned he was Togorian, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're the ones with the cantilevered legs. There's 2 major ones. The Togorians are the ones with the odd, cat-like legs. And actually, I don't know if it's cantilevered is the right word for it, but I keep saying it.
I always think of them from the corporate sector, so.
And do we know why? It sounded like he had said he knew where the location of the last Praxium ship was, but that's not. He just knew where to find out that information.
No, Will, what was the impression you got?
The impression I got is that he knows where at least one of the 3 remaining Jedi Praxiums is located.
Okay.
And he will tell us that once we take the holocron to Flohaka and find out where the Underlord is and what the secrets of the Black Knights are. Does that sound correct?
What's lost to time, because almost the entire galaxy burned during the New Sith Wars, and the the secrets of the Sith were pretty much either hidden or destroyed in the aftermath of that. So that's part of the reason why at the time of the prequels that they think that the Sith were eliminated. As far as anyone knew, the Sith were destroyed 1,000 years before the events of the Clone Wars. So they don't know where the homeworld, the original home of the Black Knights of the Sith, are. Flohaca does not seem to be that place. So you gotta go there, find their temple, and I mean, you can just go ask. You know, if he wasn't murdered by the Empire, you could ask Master Yoda.
Right.
But he's dead, as far as you know.
Right.
So, any other questions?
And so once we accomplish that, after going to Flohaca and finding the Underlord, we return here to meet up with...
You have to go to Flohaca, find out what the connection was and how to find out where the homeworld was, then travel to that homeworld, get the secrets of the Black Knights, return with that secrets. That will be something worthy of trading. Because remember, the Chamberlain exclusively trades in the currency of secrets.
Got it. Okay, great. I'm quickly taking notes, and I missed a couple of pieces there. So, okay, great.
That's a lot.
Them better than I did, George.
Okay, those are all my questions. Anybody else have anything they wanted to ask?
All right. So then, our heroes were escorted back to their somewhat damaged vessel as well. I should mention that it had a close call with a hurricane wall. And I don't mean a wall that was supposed to keep out hurricanes. I mean a wall made of hurricanes.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
I was there.
With that, you were escorted back, and there were still the members of the two families on board. So, you guys, you were also given an opportunity to talk amongst yourselves as to whether, and what the Chamberlain had said was that secrets taken from guests are not worthy of keeping. To assure you that you can speak amongst yourselves and they would not be listening in.
Right.
So, having heard this now, Nox and Droman in particular, knowing that you are both Jedi. Now, do either of you guys have occult?
I don't believe so. I'll double check that.
Okay.
I mean, some people follow me around. I wouldn't call it a cult, but
we can start one for you.
Well, you can do. You could roll unskilled. Cheo has made that roll before, so Droman and Nox, you can make an unskilled check if you'd like.
Okay. Here we go.
There you go.
So this is that the Darth moniker that you identified before as being connected with the Sith. That is something that warlords or would-be masters or lords or whatnot in the period of the new Sith Wars all regularly adopted the Darth moniker. I'm not sure you didn't roll well enough to know precisely what maybe the origin is, or at least what the theorized origin is. What you know is that there were tons of Darths of one variety or another who fought the Jedi during the new Sith Wars.
Okay, cool. I will make sure I've relayed that to the rest of the group during that conversation that we're having.
In which case, what do you make of the fact that the master of the Black Knights refers to themselves, or at least were referred to as the Dark Underlord instead of a Darth designation?
Well, that is what's interesting. It seems like there's probably a couple of different possibilities, but one of them may be, and also considering the holocron that we have being a gray Jedi, that perhaps he wasn't a fully a Sith or something, and maybe still retained some access to the light side, and kind of used both to have as much power as possible, or perhaps he didn't align himself directly with the Sith, and therefore didn't want to take that designation, and kind of was like a warlord unto himself. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting questions about why that would be the case.
It also, I think, with that good of a role, and is reminding me that you would know the armor that they're wearing. Probably the most recognizable kind of armored warriors in a galaxy far, far away are the Mandalorians. 4,000 plus years worth of key service as these, heavily armored things. But what you would know is that the armor that the followers of the dark side make use of, they're not necessarily just like powerful armor. They are often, they can be infused with powerful talismans of the dark side, or be crafted with a kind of dark side alchemy or sorcery. Secrets that mercifully have been lost to the ages, or at least it seemed to be the case.
That's very interesting. So those are obviously, it makes those types of armor incredibly rare and valuable. So it may be the case that another possibility is he never acquired one, and perhaps wanted to, at which point he could become a Darth.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Because all of his soldiers, all of his disciples, the Black Knights, they are said to have worn that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's part of the reason why the Chamberlain seems to think that there's a connection between Vader and this, is that the Black Knights are known for their head-to-toe black armor, their use of lightsabers, their allegiance with the dark side of the Force.
Right.
If you knew about this resurgent order over time, that's said to be dressed in the kind of raiments that Vader is said to wear, it's not unreasonable to draw the conclusion that this is a continuation. And the timing of it, most curious, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you did say that all of them also wielded crimson lightsabers, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. Very, very curious for this to be coming back now. Let's hope that we don't discover that it's not just Vader who's a Sith and is back.
Yeah. If he's but one, like if the Jedi... I will mention as well, the resurgence of the Black Knights of the Sith on Flawaka and the original Black Knights of the Sith, all canon. This is not stuff I'm making up for the purpose of this adventure. So now, with that in mind, what do you guys will have an opportunity to talk amongst yourselves. What do you guys make of this? How do you guys think you'll go about doing this? Is this something, one thing that your characters who are not Chael, it is reasonable to question, is how he came about, how he knew to come here.
Well, it's obvious the Force led him here.
Okay, there you go.
Perhaps.
How about that for $1?
Fair.
Tan Niv does not believe in those hokey religions.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I do have a lightsaber and a blaster.
There you go.
Which is like whenever there's eddies in the Force, the usually stirred up by the dark, the light is sure to find its way there.
Yes, there is certainly a response from either the light or the dark, depending on what the other one does.
So it's I think it's our duty to seek out this Darth Vader and try to right the wrongs.
Is
wrongs.
that what's being asked?
Well, it seems like that is something we can do ultimately, but for the moment, we must find this Jedi Praxium ship, and therefore we need to get this information to trade for that knowledge from the Chamberlain.
all secrets will lead to the towards that destination.
But I agree, and perhaps Droman and I have like a little bit of a side Jedi only conversation about like an ultimate plan of like, oh, this is even worse than we thought potentially in terms of Vader. So we're gonna have to, go down that road at a certain point in the future.
But what if Vader is but the first of Palpatine's Black Knights? This is what my fear is becoming, is that it's not just him. There's more on their way. Because obviously, I think I think the Jedi generally knew this at this point, but I could be wrong with the timing. But when the Jedi were aware that there could only be 2 Sith at any given time, like as a general rule, it wasn't just like the Council that knew that. That's
that
something.
Common.
Yeah. So as of now, I don't. The Mace Windu makes a reference to it, I think, in episode 1.
Yeah.
Right? Because he says if there's always 2, so if there's always an apprentice, there's always a master. Yeah. So,
Yoda says that.
Yeah. So I think it's reasonable to think that that's sort of an understood thing. Like the Sith may have, with the rule of 2, they may have kept themselves relatively secret for 1,000 years. But yeah, it's weird because like that kind of comment says that, well, hold on, you were aware that they were around, you just didn't think them as a threat. And then they also say that, well, no, they haven't been around for 1,000 years. So it could very well be that, like, the way to reconcile that is that it was the Council. It's a secret of the Council to know that the Sith persisted, but we don't know where the heck they were. Why don't we do this to decide? Why doesn't, if I don't think anyone's got to, any of the Jedi have a cult, so why don't you go ahead and give us an unskilled check?
Ooh, okay.
Will's getting sick of this. It's like occult is the perception of the.
I think I'm gonna spend a penny.
You can't actually, because there are 2.
Oh, I can't. Yes, you're right.
Critical failure.
Unless you're calling on the dark side.
Now look,
an inappropriate time to call on the dark
Do
side.
not. The dark speaks to me. I roll very high.
Wait. There's stars that exist in this galaxy?
A little bit like that. There is an idea of something called the chaos. That is where dark side. And here's the upside: you don't even need to spend a penny to reroll.
Wow. Well, it's okay. My dice exploded. We're good.
Well, I could maybe screw you up, but I just have a quick rules question because I haven't read it all the way through the companion.
Yeah.
I was just thanking Chris for putting this together on.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The YouTube channel. He's in the chat. But how does he do dark side? Fall into the dark side?
We're gonna tweak it a little bit. And there's no comment on Chris's thing. It's just we've got our own. It would not be one of our games if we didn't tweak the rules.
Oh my god. Yeah seriously.
Every time that you draw on the dark side, it will. Here's the thing that I think that because it's a role-playing game, the dark side shouldn't be a mechanical thing. It should be something that is something that you will you'll be drawing on, and it will become a more attractive thing, but will have it won't be the way it is or it was in, say, like, I don't know, what is it, the WEG game that took your character away? And I think that the Saga edition takes your character away if they fall to the dark side as well to become NPCs.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, the reason that I'm not crazy about those mechanics is because, like, there's going to be people who try and ride up the line that loses the spirit of it. If you're going to fall, it's going to be your thing. But we are going to track. You're just not going to be aware of what how close to the edge of falling you are.
Okay, and would you think that maybe we would? I can't remember if this is in one of these Star Wars rule sets. It's not in WEG. Gain like some personality trait.
Right.
That was okay. That's cool. I like that.
I think the universe may also be responding to you differently in some ways.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to do it yet. So, but maybe in the future.
Okay.
I like the mechanics, or not the non-mechanics of it. I think are cool. I like it.
Okay. So Droman, what you got a raise with yours. That's great. What you would be aware of is, for one, you definitely knew that you were privy to the rule of two and the idea that the Sith were around, and you may remember something you revealed when you last played. You, as a Jedi Shadow, you were in pursuit of someone who had someone who was a traitor to the Jedi Order.
Suspected
so you would
traitor,
have been
I believe,
aware
yeah.
that, you know, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan Kenobi had faced a Sith on Naboo, however many years before. At this point, this is, oh gosh, I can't remember. What's the time period that passes between Phantom Menace and end of I'm asking, and Revenge of the Sith?
The name of that time period?
No, the time that the amount of time that passes between.
Oh, between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope?
Yeah,
Sorry,
no, Revenge of the Sith, and that's 19 years. But
Yeah.
between Phantom Menace and Revenge.
Let's see. I think it's something around 12 to 15, somewhere in there.
Okay, so that's how long would it?
When we started last, I worked on a Star Wars game that didn't exist
Yeah.
yet.
So this would have been about 10 years before, let's say about a decade before is when there was an encounter with it. So you, Drummond, you would have been aware of not only the fact that the Sith have this pairing and have kept it that way in the last 1,000 years, secret and hidden on the corners. You would also be aware that a Sith attacked, attacked Qui-Gon and killed Qui-Gon and fought Obi-Wan Kenobi. So you could shed light however you feel appropriate into the nature of the rule of two with the Sith.
Yeah, I'll just, say it was at the back of his mind, and then all of a sudden it's like forgotten knowledge. He just remembered. He'll say, "Well, yeah, they're usually two at a time. They were never really a great threat, which is why we never sought them out so much. But these ones are powerful, and." Yeah, I'll basically tell them what I know about it.
Okay. So, what do you guys wish to do? Or is there anything else you wish to talk about before you decide how best to deal with these two Imperial families?
Yeah, I think that's being a Sentinel is not. Sorry, I feel like not my expertise. You do whatever you all think to do about that. I will go along with.
What are we going to do about the families?
Well, I mean, I think at this point we have a goal in mind. So, and that goal requires us to get back to the night below. So I figure we would just take them back to where the night below is and cut them loose.
Sounds good to me.
So the question I had is whether you think that or we talked about last time, or was whether you think this chucklehead is gonna squawk if you don't bring him back to where he was staying. And if not, whether you wanted to do anything about that.
You don't remember us.
The Jedi mind trick is known to work on those of weak will.
I've heard that.
I don't have it learned yet. I'd have to stunt it.
Well,
I don't think you can
and-
stunt that one too. You're in Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'd have to
Yeah.
look at the rules again.
I could attempt a mind reading on him to see what his intentions really are, what he would squeal. I mean, I can get one truthful answer out of him if I succeed.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can make sure.
And do you guys want to discuss contingencies before we proceed with those rolls?
So what is your plan exactly, Drummond?
Well, I mean, if we're worried about him like squealing on us, I can use my mind reading trick on him to see if that's something he would do, so we can prepare for it.
Okay, yeah, because if you get a positive result, that could help with later roll.
And it's like, I don't, I'm kind of leaning against, the ultimate, like, kill the guy, because
Yeah,
I don't think
no.
our safety is worth a life.
Right.
But options are options. I mean, we have a few people that could take care of it while our backs were turned.
Shut up.
Did I mention there are kids on board too?
I know.
I was talking about the one guy, not the whole
boy.
family.
You can't blame the kids for their parents being assholes.
That's right.
I vote for letting them go, but hopefully we can convince the one guy to not be an idiot.
See what you can find out.
Okay. So we'll assume that they have seen you guys before and have been kind of cowed into submission. We'll say Rock Slider. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you, George, too. Rock Slider may look like a labor droid, but he has the brain of an astromech.
Woo!
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so he's got
That's
the
very
bulk
cool
and whatever
combo.
else, but you can also make use of the astromech droid, as well as the skills and the tools and whatnot that an astromech droid has.
Oh, that's awesome. That's going to be very helpful for navigating our journey here.
Well, we once again find ourselves in a situation where there's very few people with piloting or mechanics, so we call this pulling a riffs.
True. I do have piloting, though.
Oh, yes.
To be fair.
Yeah.
But that would make sense because, and that's why I have an astromech's brain inside my labor droid.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys head up and they pull the thing back, and the two families. What for those who have not met these people before, two couples, man and woman for each of the couples, and then two kids each. And they all sort of like look over. I think Rock Slider has been playing a little like hollow, short or something like that to keep the kids occupied. They look over and. In the interim, while you guys have been speaking to the Chamberlain, this guy seems to have his nerve return. So he sort of, gets up. We ready to go then?
Yeah.
Just about.
It's about what's left to do. You drop off. Well, not in any of that you were dropping off. So what? What are we waiting for?
I kind of look over to Droman because I'm like, I don't know if you want me to continue talking here.
Well, Drummond will step forward. He's kind of been in the background when they interacted with him in the past. He'll say, we have a mission that is of utmost importance, and we do not wish to have our presence here told to others. I would like to ensure that you would not reveal our secrets should we let you free.
Okay. So then if you're just trying to read his mind, you can give us a use force roll.
Okay.
Okay, it's successful. So and then I can't remember what the cost of...
It's two
power points.
PP.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, right. You click on the power to make the roll. Well, thankfully you rolled the thing instead. So
Yeah,
it's opposed
exactly.
by his smarts. Hold on.
Yes.
Here comes my awesome smarts roll. Look out. Look.
He
out.
sounded very smart.
He definitely. Okay. That is you win, but you did not get a raise.
Okay.
I got a 3 on mine. So you want to spend a Benny and re-roll, or you want to?
No, it's fine if he knows that I tried to search his mind. His knowledge doesn't prevent me from getting the truth from him.
So the truth is, he will surely, in a fucking heartbeat, if all it got him was an ice cream cone, turn you in. This guy is a through and through Imperial infrastructure climber.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing to me? What you drug the air here or something?
I look back at Knox and Chael and shake my head sadly.
So, what do you guys wish to do?
We have to do something about that. I say quietly to Drummond.
Cal's not here to back me up and be intimidating.
No, but I am.
Oh yeah.
Utakuta, Imperial.
Guta, Solo.
And you may have reservations. I have no
What's your
such
intimidation?
reservations. I don't think it's that good. But let's
Oh,
see
come on
here.
now.
No, D6.
Mine's D6, but one of us could help the other.
Didn't you say that you had 2 advances you had yet to spend?
I mean, I did say that, but then you told me I still had some time before the session, and so I did that.
Oh,
And
you spent them. Oh,
and it
there we
was
go.
not intimidation on which I spent it.
Okay.
But he could help, right? He could support.
Well, and a D6 is not nothing to sneeze at, and you absolutely can. A support action is just you make your roll against it. If you succeed, so 4 or higher, you get +1 to Chael's roll. If you get a raise, it's +2 to Chael's roll, and it's only on a critical failure where there's a penalty. So what do you think, Tan?
I mean, I'm also thinking of a more permanent solution.
Now look, we've got to, look. Let me explain this to you again. We've got to start with non-violence. Do you
Might I
understand?
an observation? Just because if you guys were not wanting to have this conversation in front of them, Chael, as a Mirialan, don't you have the ability to create telepathic links?
I have the mind link ability. That is correct.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't think it's on my character.
I also have I have persuasion as a D6, and I can boost one of my skills by a certain die level, so I might be able to persuade him to keep his mouth shut.
So do you think you would have done that before you went in, Chael, just so you were able to? Doesn't take away from your force points. So I'm wondering if you guys want to be able to have a conversation about this stuff without him overhearing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Chael would definitely do that.
Okay. So let's assume that that's the case, that you've got this telepathic link. Tan has offered to help. What are you guys intending on doing?
Just, I mean, you're a Rhodian. Rhodians are kind of intimidating already, in my mind. They should be known as hunters, because that's basically what they are on their home planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already a little scary. So that's all I'm asking you to do, is just be a little scary.
I also heard they shoot first, so
That's a
looks like
that's
I don't
a
know.
dirty, filthy lie.
Yeah, books I've read say that, but I don't believe it.
I think that film's been doctored. It's like the
the hollow
the Zapruder film.
Exactly.
It's a deep fake,
Yeah.
George.
That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. Well, you look at that new footage. Hand goes back and to the left, back and to the left.
Exactly.
So Tan, if you're going to assist in this, then why don't you give us an intimidation roll, please?
All right.
You got this, brother.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, it occurs to me that the very first roll I did in this mini campaign was also double ones.
It should go to show you that the Force does not approve of that tactic.
No.
Now,
At
unfortunately,
least not that side of the Force.
well, you're not a force wielder, so you really can't draw on the force on the dark side here.
No.
But critical fail, I'm just double checking here on this, subtracts 2.
All right.
So you have -2 to your intimidation roll, Chael.
All right. That's okay.
Fantastic.
I've done better with worse. It's okay.
This guy's
shall
probably
go to
fought
war.
Rhodians before. He's probably just not scared of us at all.
Look at that! Holy smokes!
Wow.
Now that's the Force
that's
speaking.
That's literally what it would have needed.
Impressive.
So, Chael, what do we see as you step forward and intimidate this guy?
It's a little bit, I mean, I know I'm not necessarily using the power or anything, but it's a little bit like that Jedi mind trick, you know? Chael steps forward, and over his shoulder is this Rhodian. And of course, you don't really see it in any of the movies, really. But I mean, like in this, you know, you see his eyebrows kind of do that tilt in. And you see him kind of fingering his gun, you know? And Chael's just like, look, I saved you from a fate worse than death. And I didn't just save you. I saved your spouse and your offspring. you're not going to say anything to anybody about us. Ever.
So you can see the color just completely drains from his face. At the Chael speaks with a conviction that you guys have. If ever, it is rare that you've seen him be as forceful with an individual, but you understand now why he was said to have been such a successful general during the Clone Wars. And as most bureaucratic bullies are prone to do, he understands when someone above his station is speaking to him. Color drains away, and without a word, he moves back and sits down in his seat. If you spare a look over at the others, there is a look of overwhelming approval coming from the other guy's wife.
The other family? Yeah.
And
okay.
Without another word, Chael turns around and you guys are free to start heading back if you'd like. Where is it you're intending on dropping them off? You are at a place called Port Epsilon, and I think they were staying at I may have said Epsilon something otherwise. I think it was, let's say it's Port Gamma. So a separate place. You could choose to drop them off and then head back to where you left the night below, or you could just head back and let them find their own way back. What are you thinking?
I mean, Chael really, at this point, kind of just wants to get back to the ship and say, you guys are on your own. Anybody have any other input?
I mean, we could try taking him somewhere else. Obviously, can delay our
departure.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Chael feels. I mean, I feel, well, Chael feels that he's put this guy in his place, and I don't think he's going to be any further problem.
Do we know if they have resources, like probably credits or anything, to get themselves another ship?
If they had anything, it was probably left behind on the two skiffs that were swallowed in the Riptide, or the Whirlpool.
Okay. That's a good question.
Do we have anything to give them? Because I feel like we can't just leave them here.
Okay.
Destitute. We should, if we have the ability, we should provide them with some credits, or at least get them to some place where they can contact other allies of theirs, potentially.
The resort, I would think. But yeah, let's okay. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that after Nox points that out to Chael.
For all the darkness and evil that's been in the galaxy since the Sith ever reawoken, it's good to put a little bit more light back into it.
This is true.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get them back to at least close to their resort.
Okay. With this thing, it would be easy enough to get around. Again, it's quite it's pretty much like indistinguishable from any other. This is the white panel van of this planet. So.
Oh no.
Got it. That's a good analogy.
It reminds me, sorry. When I was in, God, I can't remember if I told you guys this story before, but when I was in high school, I think, or junior high, it might have been junior high. I think it was junior high. We had a car wash because our whole class was going on a trip to Quebec City for our trip. So, of course, a bunch of the teachers brought their things in, including our vice principal, who drives a van. And inside the van, we're going around, and someone was talking about the cleaning of it, and I wisely said, I was as loud then as I am now, it's really tough getting these little kid fingerprints off the windows, and that motherfucker had just walked around the corner. So yeah.
I haven't heard. That's the first time I heard that.
And I thought I was bad in high school.
Turns out it wasn't little kids that Mr. Noise was into. It was the art teacher. So.
Oh, well, that's a different story.
Yep. Turns out they were looking forward to the Quebec City trip as well.
Mm-hmm. Understand.
So then, here's what I think we'll do is what we're going to use. We're not going to make a whole journey out of this stuff, but just let's draw maybe one or two cards just to see if anything interesting happens on the trip back.
Cool.
Yeah, because you never know. You never.
Yeah, there's got to be some potential for chaos at any point.
Yeah, most definitely. So, never
all
dull
the nat
moment.
all the nat ones we've been rolling, it's probably due.
Exactly.
So then, as you guys are heading back, they will be absolutely silent in the back, apart from Rock Slider, playing some kind of thing to amuse the kids. What is going through your collective minds right now? Nox, having heard of what you're being tasked to do, are you feeling good to have a mission, as it were, again, or are you feeling troubled by it? Nox or Drummond, how did you feel about having the Sith in play here?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's mixed emotions with both of those things. One, yes, it's good to actually have a mission to fulfill, so that feels like the old times. And yet, at the same time, what the mission is and what it involves is incredibly disconcerting, given what I already know about Vader, and the thought that we may be dealing with multiple Vaders is very chilling. So he really wants to get to the bottom of it, but he's got a little bit of adrenaline going now that he actually has a very specific thing to do and to accomplish, and it seems doable.
Yeah.
For Droman, he actually feels a little bit opposite. I mean, he's found a kind of sort of calm center, because the things that he's looking for, the secrets he's trying to find, they're all finally coming together and leading to a point, and he can just feel like the universe closing in and leading him there. So he's kind of contemplative and zenning.
Would you say it's almost like there's a call that is bringing him?
Yes, and something that he can hear clearer and clearer as we keep going forward.
Thing here. Is he feeling any anger or maybe fear, maybe aggression,
or suffering?
No, it's under a little bit layer of tired but resolute.
Nice.
Because he's been after this for so long, and he thought he was close, and then it got taken away. Now it's back where it needs to be.
Okay. I would love it if somebody else in this campaign will follow the dark side for once.
I've already hinted that Drummond might.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, it's gonna be me again. God damn it.
Pan, what about you? What's going through your mind?
Aside from the fact that this guy's lucky that Chael intimidated him, because otherwise he would have had a blaster to the head. I think actually at that point, when it was clear that Chael had this in hand, I think Tan would have kind of maybe returned to just. He's still, even though we're here, and even though he's still having a hard time letting go of his tendency to look over his shoulder. I think he's still rattled from his the knowledge of that we were being pursued. So he probably would have actually backed off a bit and found a nondescript place to watch our backs and keep an eye on any approaches. Actually,
sorry, in what would you be doing that? You're all in a vehicle right now.
Well, no, okay, yeah, sorry. I was thinking more like I don't know.
Let me
why.
ask you this:
I thought we were stopped
what you
for
said,
some reason. I don't know why.
That's okay. What you said before is that Tan was responsible for bounty hunting renegade Jedi for a time, and I imagine he took some of those in alive. What does he feel when he saw the hollow image, those blue hollow image of all those Padawans at training?
I think he's perhaps surprised, because the impulse ought to be to want to capture or do or harm in some way, well, at best, he would expect to feel nothing. Like expect to feel no particular compassion or care. You know, if not, of course, you know, animosity towards. And yet, the image. I think he's taken aback and surprised by the fact that the image does elicit some unanticipated compassion, some I guess maybe not even compassion, but maybe a pang of regret, a pang of a reminder of, you know, the you know, it's one thing to hunt down a full-fledged Jedi that's capable of fighting back. You know, if anything, it's not really a fair fight, but it's not in my favor. You know, but these are kids. Jedi powers or no, you know, they're kids. And so and for the first time he's noticing that there's a complexity and a nuance there that he never bothered to think about before.
So then because Chael is our empath of the group, and Chael, how would you have responded when you guys saw that display? This is, remember, I think after you guys saw his depiction of Vader. So you saw this image of the surviving, and I think it wasn't even Padawan, it was younglings at training. You would have had your own emotional response, but you felt something from Tan as well.
I mean, the concept of compassion and suffering is something that Chael is intimately familiar with. So it was bad enough that he knew that the younglings were murdered. But it's almost worse that somebody who is not really a Jedi at all and is not really related in any shape, form, or fashion, such as Tanith, to have felt that, it strikes him that much more deeply. Which is not good for Chael. You know, he felt the loss of his master during Order 66. And so it's just yet another stone in the bag that he carries on his back. If that makes sense.
Okay. Then you guys are able to reach Port Gamma and drop them off. Again, they're dropped off with not a word from our bully, but the wife of the other and the other parent, the other man, both thank you. They make a point of thanking whoever is helping them off. And the kids all wave goodbye to Rockslider, and then I think to Droman as well, because he's about their height. And with you back on, you're able to drive back, you know, in the dark, and you guys have no one else around if you wish to discuss anything. You'll be reaching back in Port Epsilon in easily within the hour. So if there is anything you wish to do, otherwise, I think you can park this thing almost anywhere and trust that Uder the Ear will recover it, or won't care because it was probably stolen in the first place. Anything you guys wish to do on the planet of Wooks Tavar before you return? I'll bring you over here. It's the coastline you would have been going down.
Yeah, I figured Nox is piloting us back, and so Chael is co-piloting.
Okay.
Cool.
Along the side. You see the bright lights of the resort town up ahead. Unless there's anything else you wish to do, then you guys will be
Just a quick question on that last image. Was that something Star Wars related that you found?
I believe that is concept art from The Last Jedi.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and then this one here, concept art from Rogue One.
That's what I figured. That one, which I always loved the sequence in Rogue One with
Rogue One
I
was
can't remember
such
the
a
name of
good
it.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like Romeo and Juliet. You know what happened before you watched it, but still.
Yeah.
I've got a controversial opinion that I shouldn't express about.
Yeah, I wouldn't do
go
that.
ahead.
I wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm kidding.
You're not in a friendly crowd here.
No.
I'm kidding. You're
All
entitled to like
opinions
this
are
one.
welcome.
Yeah, of course.
As everybody here knows.
I enjoyed the film. I found the first half kind of really dragged, and I felt like I wish they had done a better job of building up the characterization of the individual people and their relationships with one another to try to when you know the outcome, you know that they're all going to spoilers, I guess. When you know no one's going to make it out of here alive, the only thing left story-wise to give the audience is, if for satisfaction, is the tragedy of their relationships with one another. And I just, personally, I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't
it's funny
buy
you
in
say
as
that,
much.
honestly, like I got everything I needed to know from their performances. I felt like the subdued performances and whatnot just felt much more credible and believable than something, because we've all seen things where it's just clumsy introductions of like, I'm the fucking funny one and I'm the tough one, and it's like, all right, so like the Bad Batch, honestly, the first time I saw the characters from the Bad Batch, I'm like, this is the worst. Like, I hate these characters so much because they're so obviously just like archetype number 1 and archetype number 2. The series, I really enjoyed where that series went afterwards, but like the first introduction from them were like, okay, so you're the fucking tech guy and you're the strong one and you're the sniper. Like, was this put together by fucking 3-year-olds with a box of archetype things?
Well, with the Rogue One like introduction to the characters, I kind of liked it. I mean, obviously they could always get you tied in more with the characters just so they can drive that knife deeper. But it had the whole like subdued, serious kind of we're not acting like fully out who we are because we know how serious it is.
Yeah, and like it's gonna work or it's not gonna work on you. So like if it didn't work, that didn't work.
My very quick opinions, and not turn this into a whole discussion about this movie, but is just that I wouldn't minded more characterization of those characters, but I was with them. But I do think that you can see what would have happened if Tony Gilroy wasn't just brought in to fix the movie.
Yeah,
if he had done it, now that we've seen Andor, what he would have, he took a long time to really give you more about each character.
Like I'm thinking about, and that's been my last point on it, because sorry, but like I think what we see in the first cell of rebels that Cassian's like working with before the dam mission, like in a single episode, right? We get, I think we get the same degree of characterization that I would have preferred, but in a shorter period of time. Like I get it in that. I don't know.
The trouble is with that concept, though, is like, what are you cutting out then?
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Right, because it's a fixed amount of time, so there's going to be other stuff you got. And I mean, there probably is an answer for how you would go about doing that, but
well, and also that movie
one was
go ahead, Will, you
amazing.
put your hand up.
No. I was just gonna say, the way I look at Rogue One is kind of like the way I look at the Magnificent Seven and the Dirty Dozen. When I go into that film, I don't know who's going to come out alive. When I went into Rogue One, I didn't know if anybody was going to come out alive, and if it was going to be. So that's what made it work for me. I didn't have a preconceived notion of everybody's going to die or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made it work for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think
I would say.
Go ahead, George.
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I think the easy thing that we probably can all agree on is that there are a lot of great elements to the movie, and it maybe was one of the best, or possibly the best, Disney
modern
era
one.
Post George
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah. Awesome. All right.
He doesn't love his sarcastic robot, though.
Actually, yes.
Who doesn't love anything that Alan Tudyk does? I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, he's
exactly. He's great.
Even though half his work these days is just sounds for like nondescript sounds for like chickens and stuff, I'm still there for it.
Totally.
I've had it.
All right, so this is this is at Port Epsilon. This is where you guys are returning. This is the spaceport where you have the Night Below stored at the one of the hangars or one of the spaceports, space docks. What do you call them?
Hangar bay.
Hangar bays, probably. Yeah, whatever it is.
Hangar bay.
What do you guys intend on doing with the vehicle? You're not going to be able to bring it all the way through to the. You'll be able to be within a couple of blocks of the hangar, but what are you thinking?
I figure we just park it and walk away.
No, they can't do that.
No.
No, I was thinking of something else, something thievery like.
Yeah,
But this is a borrowed
so we
vehicle.
deliberately find a spot nearest a no parking sign or whatever equivalent they have here.
We were-
deliberately leave it there.
It's an aura badge.
Nice.
We were on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Closer to that fucking guard that clocked me, the better.
Okay, you got it. All right, so this thing is parked. You kind of, as you get out, there's there's a small parking droid that is beeping and wheeling, angrily at you, and it's a think of something between the size of an R2 unit and a mouse droid. So it's nothing that's going to cause you any problems whatsoever. But it's the one job it has to make people don't park, so far past that sign, and you've left it there, so it definitely is going to get towed at some point.
Excellent.
But you all are walking away and making your way through here. You may remember that where you've parked is part of the service area. It's kind of the part where the what do you call it? Where the freight, or not the freighter, but the transport pilots are parking. We were describing it as the space equivalent of like the tour bus drivers.
Right.
That's where all their parking. So it's not going to be in the touristy part. It's going to be in the behind the scenes servicing part. You're walking your way back towards that and thinking of, okay, I think maybe you've set Rock Slider ahead so to get the ship warmed up. And you guys turn a corner. Anything you guys are talking about, you think, as you're going up, or are you guys walking along in silence?
I think silence would be a good mood to be
Yeah.
in.
Everyone's
I see
thinking.
that dramatic slow motion walking of everybody.
Yeah. Nox,
same-
would you give us
same
a
thought.
what do you call it? A notice check, please?
Sure. Here it comes. 6.
So you're walking along, and what I'd like you to do is quickly tell us, what did your Padawan look like? What species? You can. I don't think they would have been older than like 15 or 16 at the time of Order 66.
That's cool. I kind of want to say a Weequay because I don't know if I've ever seen
Yeah.
Weequay
Jedi.
Yeah.
And they have a very cool look to them. So I think it's a young Weequay, young female Weequay, let's say.
Okay.
Who's my Padawan, and had a lot of self-confidence, or had a lot of seeming confidence, but actually underneath it all was like always worried she wasn't living up to what I wanted her to be. Because I'm this overconfident type.
Well, it's got to be an interesting
so-
too with you guys, because a lot of your time would likely have been spent in hut space. So Weequay, young Weequay woman spending all that time in there, there's probably going to be the expectation of what they are.
I think that. Yeah, absolutely, and I think maybe in some ways it was helpful to have a Weequay while you're in hut space. She probably spoke Huttese, which I don't. So we had like a good
Right. So one of the things we said, I can't remember who's heard it or not, but what we're going to do is just kind of pick languages as you go. You guys each have a number of languages that you speak equal to the like you have the basic, but you also will pick a number of languages equal to your smarts die.
Okay. Cool.
So, and you guys just tell us which ones those are, if it's, binary or Huttese or whatever you want to, go.
Right.
Sith, obviously not that, because that's a secretive language. But, unless there's something I don't know about your character.
I'm going to say that as one of mine, then I'm going to say I learned Huttese from her.
Love it. Okay.
Oh, I actually learned something from my own Padawan.
Oh, that's cool. So tell us then how you feel when, as you're making your way through the crowd, you think you spy sitting and begging your Padawan. And then a person walks in front and you stare at this person. They look up and you realize it's actually a, what are they called? The Nikto. Very similar looking things.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You look up and it's a Nikto, and it looks like a young man. But you're certain you saw her for a second.
Yeah, I immediately stop. Like we're all walking, and we're all walking in slow motion, obviously. So I stop walking in slow motion. No, I stop walking, and just stare for a moment, and like, did I see what I thought I saw?
Chael, Tan, and Droman, would you each give us a notice check, please?
Sure enough. Come on.
You guys have, look at that! Holy smokes, Tan. 14. That's making up for that double ones he got earlier. So Tan, you first noticed that that Nox has stopped walking, and you stop and turn around. Chael seems to have noticed as well, because I think with Chael, there's a fluttering of emotion that you feel from Nox. He's disquieted, so that gets you to turn around. Tan, you turn around as well, but that's when you hear. You hear the sound very quietly of the what do you call it? The not the anti-grav. What do they call it?
Repulsor lift.
Repulsor lift. Thank you.
Yeah.
The repulsor lift engines attached to 2 small drones.
Ooh.
And you look up.
Do I have any sense of how close?
Most definitely. You can see the 2 of them are above you, about probably about 3 meters up, and then they sort of rotate, and spotlights emit from each of them, illuminating your group.
Oh, hell.
And you recognize these drones.
I shouldn't have reminded him about the.
Oh, hell.
And
he did tell me to leave.
What you can see around. There are a bunch of concealed aqua leash that are around here, and someone steps out in front of you all, and they look like that.
Mm. How many are we dealing with?
Swagger's out here. Tan is actually the only one who notices it, and I think you guys have your attention focused on the spotlight and this armored guy looking out. At first, you think like it's fucking Boba Fett or some kind of Mandalorian armor, and you realize very quickly it's not that, but it's guy's definitely wearing almost like a combination of a knockoff Mandalorian armor, but also a uniform of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're thinking.
That's what they're thinking. You know exactly who this is.
I know who this fucker is.
Yeah. You know full well this. Yeah. It's Critic Scan. So he steps out. Now, as a refresher, because I know you've unfortunately had to miss a couple of sessions.
I recall last time we saw him, he was here to give me a warning.
Yeah.
And through that warning, and which was that he's giving us a heads up that we are being pursued by I forget their name, but these
Palpatine's hounds.
Hounds, yes, the Palpatine's hounds. And by giving this, through the act of giving me this heads up in the warning, was thus clearing his slate of the life debt he owed me, and we were square. And he gave me some advice that I should get back to what I was good at turn my companions in. And I don't know, I'm reading into this now, this is just supposition on my part, but what I think the implication being, if I were to do so, perhaps perhaps I might find myself a means of escaping my fate. Which I mean, the opposite of doing that would suggest a not so thin, a very, very obvious threat. And I think that threat is coming home to roost.
So he walks out and stops standing. Nox, Chill, and Droman, you all. So Droman, you rolled well enough to have noticed that Nox stopped as well. You tend to keep your eye on him when you're out and about. And there's this armored dude who's walked out at 10. Or what does anyone say or do? 10 is the only one so far who's aware of the hidden aqua leash. What do you say, 10?
Oh shit! I wasn't ready for this. I want gravitas, and I can't deliver it.
Why are you asking me to roleplay in this kind of game involving? Wait a minute.
No. That's fair. Fair. No, I just want some witty retort or witty opening line, and I can't think of one.
Well, I'm on strike, so I can't write one for you.
Fair.
You can't get
paying you
paid for
for it.
writing. Yeah.
I can't even do it. That's the rule.
Oh damn. All right.
Don't think too hard about it. What do you think you would say?
Yeah. No, I'll stop. I'll look at him. And I'll just smirk. Suppose I should have figured you wouldn't have gone far.
I would have thought you would have left already.
I had some things I need to take care of first.
It's funny. I was going to say the same thing.
So what's your plan here?
I gave him a word. I'm not taking you in. Debt that was owed has been paid.
But what are you still doing here?
I know who you travel with, what kind of friends these are. Palpatine's hounds wouldn't be looking for him if they weren't. And they're fine as well. But there's a Bothan that you're traveling with that the Pikes are paying a pretty penny to have a word with. I don't have any quarrel with you or your cultish friends here. I'll leave you, and you can have a head start. That Bothan, the bounty's too good to be letting him go. Turn him over, Tan. And the rest of your friends can go along their way with their fancy swords. You can hear kind of yeah, as if to accentuate the point. And Droman, Chael, and Nox are now aware that there is at least 12 aqua leash at various points. Blasters, blaster rifles.
I counted 13, but hey.
I'll give him ideas, damn it. So Chael draws back his hood because he's just heard this. He hasn't really been paying attention to this person. Yep. But he draws back his hood and he drops his right hand. And his lightsaber falls into his hand.
As you do that, he's the bounty hunter has his hand. He says, "Don't be doing anything foolish. All you're doing is getting me paid for more bounties. Turn over the Bothan, and there won't be any trouble. At least.
What good is a bounty if you're not alive to collect it?
Okay. Let us set up a quick thing here.
Here we go, boys.
So I was going to set up a map on this, guys, but I think we'll just do this theater of the mind. You can all picture where everything is. So let me just drop down a bunch of, and I've
However you want to do it.
Aqualeash heads here.
As Chael says that line just before we get into this inevitable, you'll see Tanev, whose stance was obviously quite like immediately switched to a very like readied stance. Hands close enough that he can get to his weapon quick enough, but far enough away that Jesus.
Not that either.
Yeah. Far enough away to make it obvious that I am not making an attempt to, like, I am waiting and being paused, like I'm giving, right? The second Chael says that, you'll see just a slight shrug, like a in the shoulders in my lowering of my head, like
Nice.
God damn it.
All right, then, folks, let's draw some cards here, and we'll start
Let's do
taking
it.
some actions. All right. Does anyone have any edge, like quick or level-headed
No.
that I need to know about? No. Does this bounty hunter? I think he may, because you know what's in Chris Libby's thing? Full stats for a bunch of things, including thugs and bounty hunters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a huge variety of great stand-ups. I honestly, like, it looks like everything that would have been in like any of the Fantasy Flight games.
That's
Okay.
great.
It's
It's
in
a
here.
type
Yeah, it's
of
really
type of
great stuff.
adversary comes up all the time, and you don't want to keep using the same things over and over again.
Hey, Kev, real quick.
Yeah.
Is it an action to get your lightsaber out and flick it on?
It is,
Cool.
unless you've got quick draw or something like that. But remember, you
Just-
can't take multiple actions. You take -2 in your second action. And there's a chance you'll accidentally activate your lightsaber. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. It's looking at them. Okay, where is it
If
here?
we didn't always get critical failures,
It's okay. The force is
wouldn't-
with us. Where's your belief?
Force is with you.
Yeah, so he doesn't. Sorry, he does not have that. All right, here we go. Let's go with our heroes first here. Droman, Jack. Why does
Oh, keep
everyone? 8 for 10. Chael, 6. Knox, King,
Nice.
the Bounty Hunter, Queen, and the Aqualeash.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
what?
Guys,
See, the force is not with us.
Joker. So I get another Benny, as do my Aqualeash thugs.
God.
All right, I can choose to go when I want.
Last.
So,
Last.
it's the Aqualeash, so they'll all get +2 to their rolls too.
Yep.
All right. Unfortunately, this guy, there's a reason
can I-
he's called the.
I'm gonna fish for another Joker. Can I spend a penny and get another card?
They got the first Joker, so they will always trump yours.
Oh,
Just FYI.
never mind then.
Okay. Anyone else wish to spend a Benny to get a new card?
No, I only got 2 left.
Okay. You know what? Let's remedy that. Why doesn't everyone get a Benny?
Yeah.
Hey. Then on their turn, okay, so our thugs are going to open fire. Let's see here. Anyone have dodge or any other things I need to concern myself with?
No, other than the lightsaber stuff, and I don't
Okay.
Do
even.
not.
And here we go. I think that I will allow you guys to each be those who are what do you call it? Nah, it's just a dark time, so I'm not gonna let you get your lightsabers out first. All right, so here we go.
But I have danger sense.
What does danger sense do?
Sense when something bad's about to happen. But I think it's more of a narrative thing. It's
Where do you have danger sense?
Yeah.
it's on my character sheet.
No, is it an edge? Is it?
Oh no, it's an edge.
It's an edge. Okay.
It basically prevents a surprise thing if I roll enough.
Yeah, it looks like this affects your
Oh,
notice
you know what?
roll.
Hold on. Then. Hold on. Where is it called Danger Sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
here it is.
chat right now.
Notice at +2 to sense ambushes or similar events. Yeah, give us a notice check. Let's see. Maybe you got your lightsaber out already.
Come on, brother.
Cool.
And the 2.
Yes.
So
Okay.
7.
So
Nice.
success, not a raise.
Right.
So I'll say your lightsaber is out. So you'll be using your lightsaber parry for your what do you call it? Your target number to hit.
If we survive, I can give us all protection, guys. So
Okay, so let's see. I'll go left to right here. Roman, what is wait, I should have it recorded on your PDF version of your character sheet, so I didn't open it.
Looking for my parry score. It's a 6.
Not your parry score. No, there's a separate thing.
With the lightsaber, it's a 5.
Right, but that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is the target number to hit you. It's under the Jedi Knight edge. Thank you. Yeah, half your parry rounded down.
Which
so
is 3
it'll be 3 plus 2 is 5. So my 5, that's what I'm looking for. That's the target number to hit you. This is how deflection. And if I miss you with something, then you can make a shooting skill check to try and redirect it. Okay. I rolled, let's see here. I rolled 2 misses and 1 hit. So Roman, what is your toughness?
9.
9. Okay, that's actually only a 7. So you're hit, but not any damage. Do you want to try and redirect something?
Yes, towards one of them that hasn't acted yet.
Okay, so go ahead and give us a shooting skill. Shooting skill check.
Wing.
Okay, and then go ahead and roll 2d6 exclamation mark, please. Holy shit! 13.
That's good.
One of them goes
Today
down.
with the bounty.
All right, so they're
Nice.
blasting at you. One of them, kind of clips your robes, but your purple lightsaber deflects one, and one of them goes down.
Yeah.
10. I got 2 against you. What is you don't have any dodge or anything like that, right? Nope. Okay. That's 2 hits. What's your toughness? 10.
Toughness 10. Yeah.
Toughness 10. Okay.
Tough, buddy.
So you're shaken by the first one, and the second one does not get through your armor. So you just click on the shaken. You'll have to roll to unshake. Chael.
Yes.
It's not out. I hit with 1. What's your toughness?
9.
9. Does not get through your armor. Grazes you and knocks. 3 against you.
Yeah,
None of them hit. So they're blazing away.
Great. All right.
Oh, I forgot to give +2 to these guys. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give
Come on.
I'm gonna give him, the bounty hunter, the benefit of the bonuses then instead.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
All right, then it is Nox. You're up first. What are you doing?
Okay. So I'm kind of got some emotion going on from what I just experienced. So like I don't have my lightsaber out, obviously. I just put my hand out.
Yep.
Force push. Force slam, I should say.
Okay.
And it costs 2 power points, but I'm going to add to that and spend an extra power point to increase the damage from 3d6 to 4d6. I'm gonna make sure that doing that right.
Is it targeting one individual?
Plus 2. So here's I think if I click it'll probably tell you, but success creates a cone template starting at the caster and extending outward. Everything within suffers 2d6 damage, but with a +2 added to the power points, it causes 3d6 damage, and then more.
3 of them you'll definitely be able to. If you, we'll say you're like all these are within your like a move, because remember you can always move your movement too. So you run over.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Go ahead and give us click on that. Click on that
goes.
power. Nice. So that is a success. And you said 3d8. So you didn't get a raise, so just roll damage, and we'll add whatever you got from the raise in there.
Yeah. So by adding in the extra modifier +2, it gives me 3d6 damage.
3d6 damage.
2d6. Yeah. So here it comes.
Yep. We go. So just click on that. Yeah, and we just take the 2 and then. Oh no, actually, click on roll damage.
Oh, so, I didn't
what we can always do is just add in. We'll take the raise, the bonus damage, and add that in. Now, that's you want to spend a Benny to re-roll damage.
Yeah, I do. That's not doing great. Here goes.
So that's 7. Still not great.
Not great.
Hold on. Let's see here.
No raise here.
It's 9:52.
Actually, that is enough to... 7 will be enough to shake all of them, or you could spend another Benny and re-roll fish for something a little higher.
I think I might do it just because of my emotional state
Sure.
at the moment, but normally I wouldn't. I would be a little bit more calculating as a sentinel.
Okay, I'll see some green. There you
Oh,
go.
raise.
13. So what do we
Yeah.
see as these 3 Aqua Leash are taken out of the fight?
So suddenly they just like get like this invisible force slams into them and like knocks them like sacks of meat, like and slams them into different walls and all around this area, or crates or whatever is
Yeah,
in
down
this
the alleyway,
service kind of
maybe,
area.
scattering around
Yeah.
through a glass window or
Oh, that's good,
whatever
yes.
plessy thing. And I think this is a fairly dramatic moment, so there's no Wilhelm scream this time.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. All right. The chill had been connected with Nox a moment ago. What does he feel? What's the emotional flash that he would feel as he does that?
I mean, he feels the emotion. He feels, I don't know if it's quite anger, but he definitely feels the aggression of it.
Yeah. All right.
And
So
so
this.
of course, Kale is very much center yourself, no emotion, you know.
So what this
Focus
guy
on the
does, as he's going to do 2 actions. First one reaches behind. Second one tosses forward. Tink, 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 tink. And a stun grenade goes off. I'd like. Hold on, I got to make an attack roll for him first. He's a. Let's see here. He's got D10. There we go. I'll spend a Benny. Try and get a raise. There we go. Okay, got my raise. Would you, Nox, you moved out of
Yep.
this, so, and Nan is so sad that she didn't get Nox as well. Chael, Tan, and Droman, give us a vigor check at -2, please.
Are there any additional minuses for me because I'm shaken?
No, not at all. Shaken is just something you have to make a spirit roll or a. Look at that, Droman! Holy smokes! Same thing, Chael. My goodness.
Nice.
Come on,
It's going to
Tan.
make sense for what I plan on doing on my turn. Why it didn't work.
Oh. You want to spend a Benny re-roll?
Might as
Come on,
well.
Andrew.
Good.
-2.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you
There you go. All right. So you're kind of whether you just happen to position yourself well or duck out of the way, you're hit by this, but you're not stunned. You're a little woozy. Okay. Then he, as his move, he's moving back. It is then Droman. What are you doing?
Okay, so he's going to use one action just to use a force ability.
Okay.
And if I make my check, I'm going to narratively explain what happens.
Okay.
I'm spending a total of.
Remember to click on the power, not the not just use
Yeah,
force.
I'm spending 4 power points on this.
Okay. Okay. Again. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
success. Okay.
Sorry. There we go.
Okay.
Alrighty. So what happens is he steps forward, just one quick step, and all the anger and emotion that Nox threw out and shattered the glass where they sent the enemies through. He weaves the force around and calls the glass back, and it starts spinning around everybody, and is going to increase our armor by 2.
Nice.
And it stacks with the
Cool.
Jeff already.
That's awesome.
wow.
All
That's
right.
He's just standing there like Yoda lightsaber, kind of back half, like pointing down, and he's just moving his hand and
Yeah.
spinning the glass around.
Now, Tan, you can spend a Benny to automatically unshake, or you can make a unshake roll and then take your turn.
I'll roll.
Okay. The difficulty, the downside is if you roll and fail, you can spend a Benny to re-roll that, but if you don't roll a success, you don't get to act this round.
Oh.
So-
Bennies fly fairly
Yeah,
frequently.
they do.
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna auto.
So then what do you do in this
unshake
round, Tan?
I'm gonna duck and spin in the direction of these other guys over here.
Yeah.
If they are nicely clumped together, and my whistling
Ah!
whistling
Nice.
birds are gonna go
Yeah.
fly over there.
awesome.
Go ahead.
come on.
That's a success. You
Oh,
only
yeah,
need 4 to
on a
hit.
2?
A 4. You take either.
Oh,
of them.
yeah, you go with the highest.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, right,
Now, you
right,
can spend a Benny and re-roll if you want, or are you happy with that?
If it's a success, then that's fine by me.
Because a raise does extra damage. That's where the only advantage would be.
Yeah, I worry that I'll roll worse.
It's a chance. Always
Not
a
been
chance.
doing well
Understandable.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
all right. You know what? It's 11 o'clock. So let's
There you go.
one more
There
Benny.
we go. That's a spirit.
Reroll and see.
Come on, green. Let's see some green.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm sorry, my glass got in the way. I'm sorry. I should have warned you.
So that goes out, explodes above, and you begin hearing the sounds. It doesn't hit any of them. It does not hit any of your allies. But what it does is it hits a passing security patrol. So this thing kind of...
And it's the same fucker
Oh, yeah.
that caught me from stealing earlier.
Exactly. So, and then Shale, what are you doing?
So I don't want to assume, but I definitely was drawing my lightsaber last turn.
Okay.
And so the next step is to move closest to whichever enemy is closest. I assume it's the Aqualish, but I could be wrong.
I think you could reach the 3 Aqualish that were shooting on you in a single move. He's moved back, so you'd have to run to reach him or use a force power.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, what is it? I have to use a Benny to stunt.
Yes.
Like, was it boost attribute or something?
Yeah, so I don't know if boost attribute would...
it's something like that.
Yeah, we said...
I can't remember what you called it. Or
surge, I think is what it's called. Is the thing that
Surge.
allows you to, move quick. So you could... That's your options. What are you thinking?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that so I can get up close to him.
Okay, to the bounty hunter?
Yep.
Okay, so all you need to do is run. Just you'll be a -2 to actions because you're running.
Okay.
Okay, but your lights... And remind us, what color is your lightsaber?
Oh, it's a blue lightsaber.
Flares to life. You go racing up towards him. What are you doing?
I'm striking at him.
Okay, go
but
right
I
ahead.
want to use the battle strike force power.
Oh, okay. So that'll be a... Ooh. Click on... Oh, I can't remember if battle strike is a separate power or is an attack as part of it. Let's see here. Battle
Yeah, I don't
strike.
know.
So it increases the amount of damage you do in melee. Yeah, it charges up. It's not a single attack. So you would take another -2 because you're doing 2 actions this round. 3
Okay,
actions.
so -2 to that, right?
You would be taking a total of -4 to that and then -4 to your attack if you want to do all of this at once.
All right, let's just do a straight attack.
Sounds good. Okay, so
that's
you race
just,
up.
Fighting -2, right?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. Come on.
Oh,
Are you gonna Benny that?
Yeah, I've got one Benny left, so that'll
Okay.
be okay. Do a reroll.
Here we go. -2.
Minus dose.
You got
Is
one.
what it
I see
is.
one Benny left on your character sheet. You want to spend that one to
Yeah,
reroll?
I know. Well, hell, let's spend it.
Hell yeah.
Explosions.
My commission is Benny based again,
Give
so
me what I need, baby.
come on.
Invoke the power of the Force.
Oh no! So you race forward. There's blue lightsaber out. This guy is proving to be a lot harder to hit. It may be because of those droids drifting around, flashing the spotlight in your eyes, but that is where we're gonna leave our session, guys. Our heroes all engaged with a bounty hunter on Wooks-Tavar, a task to go and find an ancient Sith order and apparently some bounty hunters employed by Palpatine in pursuit. And how are the Pikes involved with this now? So, yeah.
It's a mystery.
Where's Cal?
Nothing but trouble. Then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for episode 5 of our Knights Below Savage Star Wars adventure. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. I'm almost caught up in comments finally. You can also find a link in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active and we have a chat channel there dedicated to Savage Worlds, another one dedicated to Star Wars RPGs, and mostly every other campaign we run on the channel. There's also a ton of other great channels like DM Advice. There's some great discussion today about being a paid DM, ups and downs of that, and there are just a ton of very helpful and friendly people. You are more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they also have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, like the Lex Arcanum RPG that is going to be arriving at my place tomorrow. They are currently, so what you can see in the description of the video, I guess first off, if you do make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, when they are not having other sales like their current spring sale that is going on right now, which offers even better discounts than the normal discount that our code gives you. Outside of that, up until July 1st, 2023, if you're checking out for a $10 or more purchase, be sure to enter the code Spring Muser, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% in your purchase. But the sale that's going on right now is even more generous than that. If they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, you can often put it on a want list, and they will send you an email when it comes in, and you can head on over and pick it up. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really amazing organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries at the time of recording. All donations through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. And we have two small ways of saying thank you to the generous donors. One of them is for $25, you get one chance to win the grand prize or the other great prizes in our next charity raffle, and every $25 gives you the same. That next charity raffle will be at the end of June. There's also, you can learn about that and the charity campaign. If you donated $10 or more since January 1st, 2023, you get a chance to vote on our next charity session. Our next charity session is looking to be either Savage Worlds or Genesis RPG session set during the Boxer Rebellion, with our heroes playing members of the Big Sword Society, one of the kind of like peasant protection groups that made up the groups of the people who were the Boxers as part of the Boxer Rebellion. That's still open, though, has not been decided. And if you've donated $10 or more since that time, head on over to the Dungeon Musing Discord server's Charity Initiatives channel, and you'll learn all about the prizes that we offer, about the things you can vote on and whatnot. If you don't care about that stuff and you just want to make a donation, that is totally fine as well, too. All donations, again, go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. So last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart heroes in a galaxy far, far away. So John, Andrew, Will, and George, thank you so much for joining me back in a galaxy far, far away. I can never get sick of saying that. I am having so much fun playing some Star Wars. And for those who have been joining our Night Below campaign, we are going to be back to CNC at some point. We're just we're going to play till this adventure comes to its natural conclusion. Rest not or worry not. We will be back to our heroes in the Night Below very soon. Until then, we'll continue on with the Nights Below, and that'll be, in fact, in 1 week's time. Until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in a galaxy far, far away have been finding as they are trying to discover those lost Jedi. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, happy gaming, and may the Force be with you.